As I mentioned yesterday about the useful anti-Semites, let me clarify. What I mean by useful about it is, no, we don't want anti-Semites, and they don't do us any good, and they're a danger to the Jewish people and to the society in general. But I'm saying useful, they are forcing us to discuss issues that maybe is forgotten. So he's very concerned about the fact that Chassidim, the Chabad Chassidim, and he spells it Chabad, believe that the Rebbe is Moshiach. And obviously he has an issue with that. This gives me the opportunity to discuss this a little bit from a halachic, from a Jewish perspective. But before I do that, and you stay with me, let us together say, thank you, Hashem, for all the miracles, for protecting us from idiots like this, and from open and different kinds of anti-Semites, etc., etc. So, Mizmor l'soider rila adonai kol haaretz ivdu es adonai v'simcha bo lefanav b'nana duka adonai eloheinu hu asanu v'lo anachna v'tzem marisoi bo yishor b'soider chatzeroisa v'sila hoide lebachu shemoi ki toiv adonai le'olam chazdoi v'yadoi v'odor emunasoi. Let us give some tzedakah, my dear friends. Please join me in giving tzedakah, and I want to study together with you. Let's learn together Rambam Maimonides, who is the authority on these laws, because he's actually the only one who really wrote about them extensively, and these are laws that nobody disagrees with him. And this is in Hilchos Melachim, Laws of Kings, towards the end of the entire Mishneh Torah, in chapter 11 of Hilchos Melachim, Halacha, law, paragraph 4. And the Rambam says the following, and I'll read it to you and I'll translate. And if and when there will be coming forth a king of the dynasty of David. In other words, he calls him already king, being that he is a descendant from father to son, all the way back to King David. So if a person like this appears, doesn't say when, just appears wherever and whenever it is. And this individual is Hoige B'Torah, is extremely versed, study. His life is all about the study of Torah. Not just intellectually, but v'oisik b'mitzvahs keDavid Aviv. But he's also very well involved and committed to fulfill the mitzvah. So it's not just an intellectual exercise, it is a lifestyle. He lives the Torah, he lives the mitzvahs scrupulously, and doesn't differentiate what I accept, what I don't accept, but he does kefi Torah shebiksav v'shebal peh, according to the written Torah and the oral law. In other words, the biblical commandments and the rabbinic commandments. But he's not just living in his own little corner. He doesn't live closed up in his comfort zone, caring about his own well-being, spiritual well-being. No, he's completely devoted and committed to the Jewish community and to the rest of the world. And v'Yakov kol Yisrael leilech bo lechazik bitko. And he will influence, he will force, but we're talking about influencing all the Jewish people, irrelevant who they are. Are they agreeing with him? Are they disagreeing with him? He cares and he worries about every single Jew, wherever he is. For what purpose? To look after his needs, spiritual as well as physical needs. And he will enforce the Jewish people to go in the way of godliness, to go in the direction of Torah and mitzvahs. Ulechazik bitko. And where he sees a breach, where he sees a weakness, he will come in there and strengthen that. V'yilchoi milchemes Hashem. And he will battle godly wars. These issues, these wars which are obviously against God, he will stand in the forefront of them. In other words, he's not going to just do this which is politically correct, but he's willing to stand up for things which are not so popular. Says the Rambam, if you find an individual like this, so you can consider this individual, you presume this individual to be Moshiach. Now, my friends, anybody who knows anything about the Rebbe, while the Rebbe was physically with us, and even today, knows that this, what the Rambam writes over here describes this individual. A scholar second to none, a leader of the Jewish people and the world. He's caring for the world. They came out with a 7 away clause and so on. Second to none. Successful in everything that he undertook, that he undertakes. So do we believe that he is Moshiach? Yes.